Come, my friends, we've hit the last end of it, the big chunk, the long one. Settle in. We're going to be doing some strategizing here. We've got all the cool red cards. This is the Thunderous Acclaim. This is the strategy breakdown. It's the big end of it.
Yep.
This is not a lot of people do this. I'm Paul. That's Jesse. We're different sort of guys. I dare say we're up to be apart.
We are a breed apart. Grab a beer, grab some popcorn, snuggle in, because this is going to be about an hour long as we run down all these. And we're starting with, yeah, a breed apart. It's a monk card.
See, I got it. This is a great card because it can do one of two different things, right? So, like, negating force penalties is useful sometimes, straightening your dudes is useful sometimes, and then extra rubbins, it just annoys the crap out of Shadowlands players.
Absolutely.
Take that. Take that, Spider-Man.
I don't know if any of these effects is powerful enough. Straighten like a single straighten effect. We're a flush with those. We can play. This is not.
Sure, and you have breaking the rhythm, right? But the idea is
Yep.
this gives you card economy.
This gives you a bit of selection. I get it.
Yeah, a little bit of, I dare say, flexibility.
My problem is that breaking is flexible because it can target their guys and negate bonuses, and it's also absent.
You have Courage Beyond Question, which is the card that can give Conquer or Negate, and it has Discipline, and like that's the sort of samurai type card.
This card has a lot of competition, is what I'm saying.
You're going to play this, though, in a bunch of Monk and Shugenja decks in the same way that you play a bunch of Hone to the Razor's Edge, just because when you build decks, you need straighten effects, and it's nice to have, and then this one can also be a forced penalty negation. So, this probably becomes the sort of go-to straighten effect most of the time, assuming you're not interested in some kind of followers, and it's worth mentioning that this can straighten your Monk and Shugenja followers. So.
I guess I'm just not quite there. You haven't sold me on this over Dirty Tricks yet as your premier straighten effect. And the tacked on negate force penalties isn't enough.
Except it's not tacked on. I feel like you don't appreciate the number of force penalties out there. Maybe you haven't run into overwhelming offense and -3 force type stuff as much as I have. Maybe it's a difference in our sort of environments or something. I don't know. But I think that people are going to go to this card pretty comfortably.
Okay. I accept your choice, and this is a card that I love. It's a sneaky bad card, so this is not a good card.
It's not actually something you should play, and here's how I can prove it. Because how much do you play Walking the Way? How much do you play?
A lot, actually.
Heart of Voodoo. We play it a lot. Most people don't.
Yep.
And 2 gold plus the cost of a discard to get one card. L5R is a lot more about trying to play out a bunch of cards. Card advantage is what people say card draw wins games. That's not actually true. It's card advantage. It's just sort of having more stuff and more options, more things to do. And this card is negative in that way. And we're getting some sort of kind of unique type cards. You can only play one of for battle and stuff like that. But it's just not, Death of the Winds is nice, but would you play 17 Death of the Winds? No, of course not, because there's a limited number of awesome cards you're getting, and that's where Accepting the Choice suffers.
Well, Accepting the Choice, a card like this is a straight Johnny type card. You want it to combo. The card that you get should win you the game. So it's never a kind of card you can play and go tutor up like a role player card. You could never play this and tutor up Weakness Exposed, because it's just not it's not good enough.
Right.
You can tutor up this card could tutor up Rise from the Ashes or tutor up Wasting Disease, the card that wins you the game on the spot. But we don't have those cards anymore. This isn't that format.
I could see it as you're playing 3 copies of this and 1 copy of a card that maybe you want to put into players. And then maybe maybe you're playing an honor deck with Passive Wisdom and the card that we're going to talk about later to pick up the 1 karmic card that you proclaim on. But I'm looking for reasons to sort of play it now.
Which I will continue to do for the rest of the time it's legal.
It just doesn't fit as naturally into decks as you think it would, and as it would have in a bunch of past formats.
This does have a big fear of future design element too, and I'm a little scared to see a card like this printed so early in the Onyx bugs, because it means that for most of Onyx set we're not going to see any powerful combo pieces, because we could just run Accepting the Choice, tutor them up without. Walking the Way was always acceptable because it had this cost of you must play Shugenja, it's 4 gold, you must bow a guy. That's all none of it. This is none of that.
That's a really salient point. But I mean, I just hope you believe in Onyx. You know, I'm choosing to believe. So Amethyst Adjunct. That's sort of a fun alliterative phrase.
This is a head scratcher.
Yeah, so, target you guys, Hayden holding this hasn't made cold. So, like that, you understand intuitively sort of what it's supposed to do, right? It's like I'm supposed to have my holding, I'm bound to do things. The problem is there's not a ton of those, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of really great holding that you bow to. Like, what are you using it on is my first
artist
question, right? Weapon artist is a great one.
Heisha, the one that we just talked about that picks up followers.
Picks up followers. That's okay.
Now, the real answer is Kabuki Theater Troupe or...
Right, and that's where I was going. The big one is the sort of honor gain holders, right?
So it gives you a little bump of acceleration and a point or two of honor, which I just don't know that it's worth a fate slot, especially in defensive honor that wants to have a full grip of things to do in those battles.
So the fact that they target a Courtier or Phoenix Land guy... presumably that's like a storyline win or something.
Yeah,
so
from
Phoenix,
2013.
Carpenter Shrine is the one that I had thought, where it's like, I put my Carpenter Shrine to gain an honor, I straighten it, and now my Carpenter Shrine is making 3 gold. That's pretty great, actually. Like, that specific
it's very good.
It's pretty good. So, like, that's the place. Like, those are the cards that you're going to, if you have some Courtiers and have some Carpenter Shrines, then Adjunct starts to look as like a really good card. So I see how it works.
I'm just saying.
I've been very cautious about like straightening holdings, and I guess that's probably for the best. Except Abbott's still out there, so maybe not. So
yeah, but it's a single unique personality. My point about this card is it's turn 5. You rip it off the top. How do you feel?
Not very good. I guess I feel okay. I've got a Carpenter Shrine. It's a Telltale.
Sure, but it's turn 5. You didn't need that gold anyway, so it's not a telltale.
Yep, I mean you're absolutely right, but you gotta have some amount of these sort of excellent cards for on decks to sort of break through.
Do I?
Yeah, I mean you can't just proclaim and win the game that way. You need to gain honor and other bits. So speaking of sort of honor excellence,
let's talk about the push chase rare. This will be a $20 rare. Get yours now.
Except it's a common.
Battlefield Challenge?
No, honor guest. We're skipped one.
No, we're going alphabetically. You're wrong.
Right.
B comes before H.
Amethyst Adjunct goes into in honored guest. AN is before BA.
Shucks. Okay, I skipped one. Apologies.
So we're on an honored guest, and this is a card I'm really excited about. It just sort of made a difference. This is our Karmic Interrupt, give a guy +1 PH, and then you can proclaim him if he doesn't have your clan alignment. I think this card is awesome. I think it belongs in a whole bunch of decks. I think you're already going to be playing Honored Sensei plus Atomo Teneji in your Honor decks, and now you can just proclaim Teneji in addition to your Honored Sensei stuff. He doesn't gain your faction alignment. He still does not have your clan alignment, and so it's sort of like, bow to Honored Senseis and gain like 5 honor is really great.
It's very great. This is one of the best cards in the set. As far as there's a caveat, slow down, as far as brew rounds and like thinking about cool stuff you could do with it goes. The +1 PH bump is just totally unnecessary. Unaligned personalities are flush with 3s, so you suddenly get all these 4s, and you're proclaiming them. And Honored Sensei exists, just like Paul said. And just like all for kickers, it's karmic, which normally you think like, yeah, isn't that neat? Like if you don't need it, you flush it. Well, it turns out karmics are now infinitely recursable. So you can be honored guesting every single turn. And we'll talk about that interaction when we get to the kata. But this card is great. It's going to have a place in a certain deck. It remains to be seen if that deck is any good, but it will have a place in a certain deck.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really great card. Now we're on to the Great Chaser that you alluded to.
Yeah, $20. Battlefield Challenge.
Very simple. It's a battle duel bows a guy, winner gains 2 honor, and people don't love battle bow duels. I mean, I love Odd Witness. Not everybody does, but it's a fine card, right? These sorts of things.
But just the fact that they stapled on that Gain 2 Honor means that this goes in every dual-based Honor deck because it says Gain 2 Honor, and it goes in every military dual deck because it says Bow the Loser. 3 Focus is fine. It's a great card, and you gotta have some of these in the set. It's kind of a little dull. I think the one deck that gets a lot of mileage that improves a lot is these sort of dual-based strategies. I really think they're coming to the forefront now.
Yeah, and you said people don't like Bow Duel. I think that's a sort of a holdover opinion from like Lotus, Celestial Emperor.
I don't know if they don't like it. I just don't know if it's not great because everybody's playing you have to have every military deck you're playing a dual deck and you play these Bow effects, but every other deck has some number of straight effects anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's just sort of dance of okay, I've got 9 Bow things. You've got
but my point is that if your duels aren't bowing, what are they doing? We don't get Kill You anymore.
We don't get Kill You anymore, and this is Gain 2 Honor, which is
this is as good as it gets. This is what Aijutsu Duel. This is what Aijutsu Duel looks like now.
Yep.
This is what Flash of Steel looks like now, or Clash of Steel looks like now, and it is what it is. This is what L5R has become. If you play dueling, you should be very excited about this card because this is your new baseline. This is the card you're going to be playing for the next 2 years.
Yeah. Get your playsets now.
Be silent. The all exclamation point deck gets another entry. The deck's not bad either.
It's actually, I think it's getting there and it's coming together. This is the nobody plays Confusion at Court, but what if we tack on Discipline effect? It's not as good as Confusion, so I don't.
It's not even as good.
It's a draft card, right? You need to have an answer to the 15 draft, so that Honor's not overpowered. And we should make the draft exist as L5R. We shouldn't be, we should acknowledge that. But it's really unexciting. It's just one of those cards that you get a bunch of copies of and you never play. And, okay, man.
It's a courtesy discipline too. I didn't even notice that. So weird. Keywords that got keywords. Yo, bro, I heard you like keywords. So something. Caught amongst thieves. This is a reader, but it's a magistrate card that bows and straightens. No, it doesn't. It dishonors their guy and gains your honor.
First off, it's a courage card, and I think it's the first, maybe the only courage card in the set. There's not a lot of them, which is sort of a fear I have. It's they don't want to abandon courage. They want to keep the game, but they don't. They're not going to print a ton of courage.
I mean, there's already plenty out there. It's probably their thinking.
Sure. So every set now we'll get 2 or 3 strategies or something, 1 or 2 attachments with courage. So let me tell you why I'm going to play this card. The same reason that I play Test of Character. I'm going to target my own guys, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. It bumps me out. I was so excited, right? Well, when I thought I could just target my guy and then target my other guy.
Yeah, it's a free karmic test of personality.
I really but they learn their lessons, and I have to target them. Right? So most of the time, you're playing this as a tell the tale cycle thing.
Yeah. I never like tell the tale. I don't like these sorts of cards either. I don't have a lot to say about them. It's a lot of text to say gain 1 honor.
It's free honor with a match. I target I target my guy, I target your guy, I gain an honor, I cycle my card. Okay. That's all I got. I just got okay.
I don't know what the value of a point of honor is vis-a-vis the value of a fate card.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't seem like enough to me, especially at the cost of bowing my guy. But I mean, I'm sure people will try it for a while and eventually realize that it's not really worth it.
Confounding Departure.
Curses don't go. This is a straight bow. It's a fine card. I think that bowing doesn't this is actually one of the most straightforward, easy to play bow cards. Right? It's hard to just say here's a bow effect. This is just bow card. And then, it doesn't, it works through attachments, but it doesn't work through unbowed attachments. But it's still just a good bow effect. You could play I throw down your followers, now I play this to bow your guy. And it's a good card. It's a good default military card, and I think it's going to find itself into a couple of decks.
Works with fear, worth noticing. I mean, Not really, because we have Jinden Sensei now, so all our fears kill their guys. But yeah, you fear their follower, then you bow their thing.
Yeah, or they bow their thing to shoot you or something, and then you bow that.
And you get him. Ha, gotcha. Which is how you're going to have to get the guys with spells.
Right, or, they move in with their versatile blade, and it's bowed, and you get in that way.
Wombo combo with Pacify. You, like, pacify all their follower, all their attachments, and then hit them with a confounding
Pacify all their stuff, yeah.
So yeah, I like it. It's a flexible card. It's a card that has an effect and just does it well. And those are always the kinds of cards I want to reach for.
It does what it's supposed to do. Like, you can just play. It's nice when you're building military decks that you don't want to play the keyword game. Here's a card you can just play.
Yep. Darkness Inside.
This is a card that you cannot just play. You need to have ninjas to play this one.
You have a lot of ninjas to get any amount of payoff from it. But
having said that, in our Spider deck, we've talked about how you're just sort of getting incidental ninjas now. So it's very easy for this just to be -3 force and then maybe something else.
Yeah, so, like follow-up actions are real, and like -3 forces, like people play allied efforts.
Once you do the number of 3, this card's pretty good. Before that, it's kind of poopy, right? Because you can do better force reductions. Mm-hmm. But once you start to get to 3 or 4 ninja, which is very doable, especially in Spider and also in Scorpion, this card is really turned on in a big way, and so it's a really solid battle action.
Yeah.
Now, it only hits personalities. That's the thing I've talked about before. You'd like to see these things both hit people and followers, but the followers never have darkness inside of them. They're always full of bright, shining, shimmering light.
Okay, but so the darkness is making him powerful, but this appears to make people weaker. There's a bit of a discontinuity between like the flavor of the card and the ability.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I thought this was like the darkness inside of them to make them weaker, but you're right. Power flooded Luke and Becky's form. You're right.
So I don't really know, and like it's all about the Shadowlands, but it's like about ninjas. I thought that those guys are just like allies; they're not really together.
Okay, yeah. So this feels kind of like I'm gonna call it. It's a flavor fail.
This card's a flavor fail, but it's an okay card. I don't think I planned. I think I never reached for this because there's already so many other options, like overwhelming assault, allied efforts. I think these cards are just better. The upshot of getting an additional action isn't worth the cases where it's just a -0.
Like it would be like I don't think it would replace those cards, but it might be in addition to if you're sort of going in on here's a bunch of like force reduction effect kind of deck.
If you want to play a force reduction theme deck. Okay, Dense Jungle.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a karmic terrain that's weird, and I put it out in Meech Power Guy. I used to play heavily engaged, but I don't think I would now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I want it in a terrain.
Yeah.
I will say that what's nice is that this is just there. Like, it's an action that, like, even when they blow up the terrain, like, the guys don't straighten.
Yeah, they do. Read the card, dude.
Oh, you're right.
This card is all kinds of blah. You're right. Like, wide strategies is where it's at. No one's playing Super Unit. If people were playing Super Unit, your, like, wide Mantis deck could play a copy or two of this and tutor it up.
Doesn't have absolutely. Yeah, this isn't.
This isn't anything.
It's helpful. I mean, it's good if big unit strategies were more prevalent. They are, but they're just not very prevalent, right? Like, if we're still in that format where, like, guidance in war plus tested blade plus, other stuff. Like, if that was what was happening, and we'll get to why that's not happening later. In addition to Pacify, there's kind of set that sort of takes away a lot of that. But I just don't think that this fits the format. So.
Agreed. Dissension in Command. Here's another.
This is the one. This is the one that, like, you give your guy -3 force, and who cares what happens to the terrain? Right? Like, the thing goes away, the guy still has -3 force.
Now, give an attacking personality -3 force.
Right.
Could ever be.
It's only defensive decks. Now, nobody plays Sinister Deception except me, but I do play it. And so I kind of like this card, partly because it's an engage, so I can do the setup for, like, Unholy Strike type stuff in the same way that I would strike from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a good, in our defensive deck, sometimes you just have answers to other terrains. They have answers to their accessible, to have answers to their contentious. So I like this card. It goes in a certain type of honor deck that I don't think people play much anymore, but I'll play it.
So you carry that torch. It's good to note that it's an easily tutorable card. Two terrains remain a very powerful set just because scouting amidst the snow exists.
Yeah, which is a card that I thought would see a lot more play in the format, but it doesn't. So okay.
Okay. Distracting Paranoia.
I know you love poison tokens. You're the king of poison tokens.
This card is officially coming out. L5R's official position on the legalization of marijuana is that it is not a good thing. It is poison, and it makes you distractingly paranoid. Poison tokens have come a long way from target a guy with a poison token and kill him to target a poison token in a battle.
This is not.
Yeah. So I'm not impressed. I don't like tokens in general. I don't like dice and coins on my cards. I'll get your grubby money off. It's the dirtiest thing in existence. There's not a lot to say about this card. It's unexciting. It requires tokens.
You have Chief Shishiro Sato who puts out poison tokens. You have that whole deck. Right? There's Red Hunger's.
Yeah. Well, the Sensei puts them out.
There's
the guy that duels.
Stuff. I think Spinning the Web puts them out.
Spinning the Web throws one out too.
There is some setup, knockdown, bow. I just I use my Scorpion Duelist, which we didn't get anything really good this for this set, but I could use my Scorpion Duelist with Aurora Sense, give you a poison token, then bow you.
Yeah.
Or I could just play a bow duel.
It's
okay, and
it is, as you say, that not worth the squeeze.
Is it? Immaterial weapons. I don't really know if I should be excited about generic -2/4s or -4/4s. Seems to me like I would never play this card. I guess if I'm playing a deck that puts a lot of followers out, then you generally have less cards in your opponent, and then maybe give them -4s and shoot them.
The problem with a card like this is always just that it has to be compared to the other cards that already exist. So you got to sell me on why I'm playing this over on an overwhelming offense. I guess if I'm high honor. And I don't want to take the honor hit.
I don't. But then you can play other cards. Yep.
Then you can just proclaim your guys.
You're right.
Overwhelming offense is just overwhelmingly awesome.
It does. It really keeps a card like this out of the format. Inexorable advance. Target your personality. Fear equal to forces. Oh my God, I'm losing the thread here. If your personality is commander, negate the next rating of any card bound by this. Okay, well. It's a fear effect that can keep the thing bound if you have a commander, but to play it, you have to already have
reach, I touched my nose, I made it.
Yeah, that's a lot of text for a power card, and it cannot straighten. And it's a fear effect, so it has all the
it's a conditional. It's got all the caveats of fear. It's got all the conditions.
So it's like, do you love the keyword game? Well, guess what? If you love the keyword game,
we have a card for you.
Plus random fear game.
This is like the final boss of the keyword game.
It's the keyword game spin-off, baby. Yep.
Intimidation tactic.
Buy your target unbound. Okay, make a fear effect equal. Didn't we just read this?
Didn't we just read this? And then,
but wait,
if we're a commander, you destroy it.
You destroy it after 5. So it's like.
Now, it's worth noting this is an open.
It's true. No, you're absolutely right there. So
this
open
is
fear
not
effect. New. It's different.
Yeah, I mean it's like this is control. It's a control card. See, this is what we get. And now this card gets compared against cards like Sake House Brawl, or
yeah, I mean I guess that's
cards like this.
Right. So, and I guess in that way it's much better. Right? Like I mean you can I buy my follower to buy your follower as an open as a sort of targeted spot removal. That seems pretty great, right?
Well, to buy my follower to bow your guy is my point.
You can do that as well. And so, that's playable, and if you're playing a bunch of commanders and followers, you almost certainly put this in because it seems like a really powerful effect. I just don't know if it's good enough to make me reach for, commanders plus followers. My followers have to be a certain size to utilize this card. And then, I want to have, an Unbound Hachiman or something. It's a good card. I don't want to be, belittle. I was making fun of sort of the templating and the text of it. but I don't think it's quite as good as you want, and I also think those commander decks are going to want their battle actions.
Yeah. I think that Commander on this card is a bit of a red herring. This is a card that wants to go into an honor deck. You were working with an honor deck that was like all open Balliard stuff and like really stymied. And there's a lot of it now, you know. You've got Sake House Brawl, you've got Ranketh Privilege, you've got Imperial Summons. And then if you add a couple followers and play Intimidation Tactic, that's not nothing either. Like you already got Sparrow Clan Aid, that's a 2-force follower you can target with it. And if there's any way to bump it up, that would be the ideal situation. But you could always go and reach for like something a little bit bigger, like a defensive Hatamoto or something with a 3-force, and then you're about a 3-force guy, and that's something.
Absolutely. I guess I didn't think of its app because I got sucked into the keyword game. I wasn't really thinking about playing it outside of with commanders, but you're right. So I mean, open bow is a flexible thing, and converting followers into an open bow, like that could be a really great tempo swing. So I just use it as a setup for attack is going to be really good. Having said that, people do play some amount of open straight and moving, but it's a good card.
Ivory Ascendance, this is just a sort of functional reprint of Halamakar's Harem. Just straight, like, dishonor a guy. Now you get the card back for 2 gold.
How obnoxious. Like, so when we saw this with the Amethyst, it's because like Scorpion won the Emerald Championships or the Ivory Championships, so that's why it's Scorpion, and I get that, but I really wish a card like this, if it was just an best 2 draw card for anybody, I think it would open up. I could really use a card like this, like to be able to draw with like Artisan Dishonor or something. Like I know that you want to have that fun flavor. Maybe make the invest less for Scorpion or something. I just feel like the fact that you can only invest it if you're Scorpion is kind of a...
You can invest it as anybody, you just can't draw a card.
Right. So, but this card is great. The fact that it's Dishonor and then just follow up, do something, I think that could come up. And we should mention, we're talking about it a lot in terms of Dishonor as just a strategy. I dishonor you to set up my Brilliant Cascade. Battle Dishonor, like, if you got enough effects like this, you could, with the invest, and the lack of tempo loss, it could be I dishonor you, I kill you with my Restoring Order, which is in, but could be one day.
I don't know. I agree with you that this card is definitely better for Scorpion, but I say again, this, like, people played Kamalaka's Harem for a long time, right, and nobody ever complained about it, and this is just what that is, but strictly better. So I don't see why we wouldn't just play this into other Dishonor decks anyway, like just because of the sour grapes on the invest. But that seems kind of silly.
Certainly be following your Fender to Dishonor someone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is we're on to Karma's first form. This is the card I was talking about before. It lets me constantly play the one Karmic card that I really like.
Yep.
Love it. I think we might have to. I think we have to worry a little bit about Fear of Future Design because now every kind of card that exists you can play a limitless number of times. And you say, well, what? You have to discard a card. Well, that's actually pretty trivial. And in a format where Path of Wisdom, it's
beyond trivial. You can immediately also just discard any other Karmic card. So you discard the same card you want to pick up, you pick it back up. It's also worth noting that with Young Sensei, every single card in your Fate deck gets the Karmic trait.
Yeah,
so you can pick up. This allows you to pick up any single card in your discard pile. There's some real wombo combo stuff that can exist with this. I haven't investigated to its fullest yet, but I'm positive that infinitely picking up Banish All Shadows. I could probably make something happen with this. Infinitely picking up. Even followers and items and things all become karmic with your Young Sensei, if I remember correctly. It might just be strategies.
Right. I actually thought it was just for personalities.
Is it just your personalities? Oh no, you're right. I'm completely off the rails. Never mind. I'm completely in Jesse Crazy Land. It's just your personalities.
Well, we are Johnny type guys, so we will carefully look at every Karmic card that comes out in the future and say, how will this work with Karma's first form? The one that jumps to mind right away is just an Honored Guest, and just keep gaining those extra points of honor, keep proclaiming those dudes. So.
Yeah, Honored Guest.
Right.
I like the Strength and Subtlety as a card. It's just like a recursive battle action, and every time you you pitch it to pick itself back up. You can
Drop
like, cause
one,
a
put
minus
off
2 force.
penalty, pick up another one, do a thing.
And like recursive blade, you can turn your Path of Wisdoms into just like a 5-4 swing over and over again. That's not nothing. So even though I'm a little bit addled in the brain sometimes, there's a lot to be done with this card, and I'm excited for it personally.
Oh hey, leave it abandoned. It's a siege card, so right away I'm not like, what does he siege? Siege is not a keyword. Like when I see
siege means we're talking about fortifications. Talking about fortifications means I've got a rant.
Yeah, I mean siege has not produced a high quality sort of card, right?
This one is no exception.
We had the Demolisher. I like the Demolisher. I'll give that some credit.
This guy's like a throwback. This is a throwback to like old Jade Edition cards that were just all flavor and no logic. It's like you're going to spend a whole fate card to destroy your own holding. What?
So it gives you an honor, and like so it's like, oh, you're about to take my province with like, so we were talking about setting up our phallic province there with 1 million fortifications. It's like, oh, you're about to destroy it. Well, I'll gain 1 honor after, but it's only 1 fortification, so it doesn't work the way I wanted it to. Like I had this idea that like I'd play it and I'd be like, I gained 10 honor, but no, you just tapped at 1 point of honor. But you will get the draw card, I guess. It's nice. And it only straightens if your army is opposed, whatever. Like whatever.
Right, the whole thing is just a big fat...
It is absent, so it's like I just give up the province, but I draw a few cards, gain a point of honor, take an additional action, whatever, man. I guess straightening your fortification to...
There's no follow-up on that, though. Like here, let's
there's a send home. There's like a Bow Fortification send home card.
Right, but why is it bowed in the first place if you haven't used it already?
It bought gold? Question mark.
Right, but the ones with battle actions don't produce gold.
So yeah, it's kind of just kind of ugly. I don't know what to tell you. And Needed at the Wall isn't even absent. Okay, so just goofy, weird card that you shouldn't play.
Yep.
And Narrow Passage.
Narrow Passage. Okay, so this is a Paul card, so you can talk about it.
It's very much a Paul card. So you get force and chi bonus equal to the number of units attack in the attacking army and has. So like the idea is, I build my like one big gigantic guy, and hopefully it's an air Shugenja. I put on my spell, and you can't target my guy with anything, and all I can do is sit there and have a bunch of force and chi, and then you attack me with like 20 units, and I play this Narrow Passage, and my guy becomes gigantic and in your face.
That's right. Now, what are you going to do with a gigantic guy is the question.
I'm going to defend and play this and say, in your face, and then probably lose my guy in the game, and my opponent will get a bunch of honor. But whatever. Like, that's the best I could do. What could you do?
That is a fantastic question. To which I can
blow up other terrains.
I can Narrow Passage and then play Shifting Ground and then play Come One at a Time, so that I have 2 terrains in play and duel you a lot.
So there you go. So, play it in draft as a way to blow up other terrains. If you can't find a better, card for your deck than Narrow Passage, send us an email and we'll help you.
We will help you out. So the thing is, like,
crap out of you, buddy.
Again, like, highest conception of this card is that I've got like a Shiba Tsukimi that's loaded up, and you're playing Mantis, and it's the final battle, and you've got like 15 guys, and you attack. And I play Narrow Passage, and you have no answer for it. So say I've got like a 30 force Shiba Tsukimi, and it's a 15 force swing. Do you really think you're going to win that battle?
I mean, I get to play other strategies from my hand, right? I get to also play 3 Scour the Unworthies, and I can't play Stand Fast, I can't target my guy. I'll play something else. I'll just 17 Black Supply Lines.
Right.
Get ya.
No, you can target your guy with this one. You're thinking of the other one.
I'm talking about what? I'm just assuming I have that spell attached. That, like,
yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so this card is silly and whatever. Okay, not the end. Battle range 1 attack after this destroys a card, draw a card. I like this card a lot. And hey, it's Karmic. What?
Yeah. it goes like people play an early strike, people play this. Two great tastes, stay great together. There's another card that can bump it up here. The fact that it draws a card is the saving grace, right? Like,
absolutely. I think this will get especially a lot of play.
Tons of play, especially because it's like it lets all your other like dirty little like Ichimoku type guys. Oh, I drop you to 1 force and now I can shoot you. It gives you a lot more little attrition effects.
Absolutely, and there's little range attack bumps all over the place. Last set, Mantis got the guy that you pay 2 gold to increase by 2. Yep. Stealing the Candle's Flame is in. There's all kinds of little like give it +2 even without Unholy Strike or the new one. But this replaces itself. It's karma. You can pick it back up forever if you really want to do that. It kills stuff. I like this card a lot.
And why wouldn't you? Don't you want to just make ranged ones all day, draw cards all day?
Hey man, I played. What was the one that made consecutive ranged one attack go to your force?
I know that trick. It also just made one gigantic ranged attack.
Well, I only ever used the ranged one attack mode.
Did you start trying to find ways where you could range one attack your own cards to draw cards? Like, did you go on that rabbit hole?
I have not. Let's talk about Ominous Rumors. This is another honor card with 1,000,000 lines of text, just to dishonor a guy and draw a card.
So, I talked about with the weird Magistrate card. This one can target. So if I have my non-Shadowlands guy, say like one of my Monk Kensei, and I have one of my Spider Shadowlands guys, then I can accuse my guy of consorting with the enemy. I can choose not to bow, dishonor, and draw a card. So with this is against the cycle too. I've got duckies in my deck, man. I'm getting down to like a 34 fate card deck. That's good, right?
Yeah, right? You can play. There's a lot of duckies in the
Tell me you love me, people. Tell me it's good. I want to do it.
Is it? I don't think it's good at all.
I need your outside validation, people.
That's right.
And then all I need to do is find 34 good characters that I want to play. I'm making this joke. There was a time where deck compression was really important, but nowadays, actually, a lot of times people struggle. They want to play more than 40 cards, right? Like,
yeah, because they're all so similar. Like,
yeah, because you want to sort of get that variation.
You're not digging to Judgment anymore. You're just like drawing another force bounce. You're drawing another raise attack. And there are cards that are slightly better. Like Serenity is better than Not the End, but not by much.
So, okay, on to
Onyx Descendants.
Another one of those
cards. About personality of follower. Destroy a target enemy card without attachments, lower or equal gold cost. I was so close to saying there is a use for Ashigaru tokens.
Oh, so we've seen this type of card a bunch of times. They'll like blow up my thing to blow up your thing, but they've slowly gotten away from it, right? We had To Do What We Must, into Greater Sacrifice, into Great Sacrifice. Like, they kept making it a little bit trickier and a little bit tougher. And they have finally, I think, gotten to a point where it's hard to really get positive value.
Yeah. Taken Hostage was really a low watermark in that series of cards.
Which is a card that I've tried to play, actually.
Yeah, well, because some decks are in the market for blow up your own stuff. Like, blowing up your own stuff ain't trivial anymore.
If this didn't have to be on an unbound guy, if it didn't cause you to lose honor outside of being a Scorpion, like, I would play this card. And I'll still try to play it, but now it's just, like, it's really tough to get a good swap.
Yeah.
It is. It's really tough.
No, I understand. You get a little putty. You get a little pud guy for your trouble.
You do get a little pud guy who's a non-human Shadowlands guy, and so it's not like a complete force loss. And in your case, in the like desiccated case, you can like blow up a follower that you'll be able to bring back.
Yep, and he's 4 gold, so it's not.
So that's the way to start sort of getting ahead. But the fact that you just have to have equal or lower gold cost, I mean, it's had like. The whole idea behind those cards is I blow up my 5 gold cost guy to blow up your, 10 gold cost
guy, yeah.
That was sort of where you wanted to be with those. And there's just none of that now. So now it's just like it's sort of, it's parity, but then I get this little dude, and so that makes it sort of a bonus for me.
Sort of, kind of, not really. So the only thing, I guess, it doesn't care about force, it only cares about gold cost.
Only because of our gold cost, yes, that's true. And so
if for some reason you have an expensive guy that has low force, you can like generate force and kill your guy.
Yep. So there you go. There you go, unicorn players. A reason to be happy that all your guys are more expensive.
Defense from that. So, Onyx was no good. Is Ruby any good? It's another run back of.
Hey, it's the Air Dragon, huh? Air Dragon! Air Dragon!
This is another variation on the Courage Beyond Question. That one has Discipline. This one has Sword of Absent. That one gives Conqueror. This one negates Province Strength stuff. You choose. I don't have a lot to say about it.
Oh, the fact that it can have Absent is sort of cool, where it's like, they're trying to take... So, like, you'd put it in a Defensive Honor deck is the idea. Like, I've defended...
Right, what's interacting with my Province Strength or giving them force penalties?
They gain force bonuses. It negates force bonuses.
That's what I mean, but there's not a lot of that. There's no charge.
A couple of contentious terrain type effects. There's a few. There's not a lot. There's, like, planned departure, my bowed guy, stuff like that. Like, it could come up. I don't think this is good enough that you'll ever play it. It negates bonuses from the one courtesy holding that we're gonna play. Yeah. It's a fine. I mean, it's a fine card. It's a card that's got 2 different battle actions. It can It can do a lot. It's just I don't think anybody's gonna play.
I'm saying I picked the Discipline one. I think this card is functionally equivalent to a Courage Beyond Question.
The Discipline one needs Samurai. This one doesn't.
Does Samurai count as keyword game? I don't think it does.
It doesn't, but I'm saying, like, there are people who like to play Monk and Shugenja and Oni decks. This guy likes to play those.
Yeah, I like it too, and I still. Then I'll probably play Breaking the Rhythm over this.
So let's go to Secret Alliances. Okay.
It's like, did you hear who Paul is going out with? Oh my god.
So this is a weird one for me because Expendable as a trait hasn't really turned out to be all that. It hasn't
panned out to be anything, really.
It's just like it comes up. There's people play some, but generally you play a card for like everything else on him, and then he just happens to be expendable sometimes. You're like, okay, here's Expendable. So I permanently give my target courtier Expendable and this trait that, like, after another player's action, target this card, I gain an honor. And, like, now what?
And then...
Like, now what? Like, what's next?
No,
is that it?
You get to either play this card over and over again, right? So it's 3 gold, and you can repeatedly play it, and it's an open.
Right, but the invest, it doesn't reset. So, it's 3, and then it goes to 6, and then it goes to 9.
Because it goes face down into your hand and loses card.
Right, it goes to your hand. So I misunderstood that. So, so I guess... I can put one guy into play and just keep Secret Alliancing in him, and then when you finally target him, I gain a ton of honor. Is that my play?
No, I think your play is that you give every single one of your idiot courtiers Expendable, and you defend with 5 of them, let them all die, and then you draw 5 cards. And...
Maybe it's really good against against Dishonor. Like I play my guy and I alliance him, and then they go to Shizuka and I gain an honor, and then the guy doesn't do anything. I don't know. So. This might turn out to be a powerful. Like I said, it's a card you can play a whole bunch of times, and it says gain an honor, so that makes me think there might be a way for it to be really good. But in my mind, I'm just kind of like I'm very much like, okay, now what?
It's worth it's worth remembering. You cannot gain Expendable multiple times, but you can gain the trait multiple times.
Correct.
So you can't just keep targeting your Teneji over and over again, and then throw him in front, and hope they don't just pass for some reason.
Can you gain the trait multiple times? I don't know how the rules
work. Why not?
Multiple instances of the trait.
It's not you can't gain multiple instances of the same keyword. How could the game possibly know, like, that this is the exact same keyword? Like,
okay, well, someone who vaguely understands how to play this mess of a game, please explain to us if I can play this one card on my guy over and over again. Right now we're believing that we can.
You have for most of the history of L5R.
But for let's be honest, though. We're about wrong on card rulings now. It's a good 50-50.
It's up in the air, yeah.
We're pretty much a coin flip. So if it turns out we're just completely wrong for some bizarre and obscure reason, just please let us know.
Comment, yeah.
Make fun of us in the comments. So.
Okay, Keyhole Water Battle. Target 2 your guys, give them -2.
Strength of the Torrent. This is how I watch Game of Thrones.
Absolutely. The strength of Torrents is that you don't have to pay any money for software. And you see, it's not stealing because there are 2 prongs for a test to determine what is stealing. You must deny money from somebody, and you must deny a physical product from somebody else. And with software, it's not actually either. Because, number one, you can't prove that were it not free, I would have bought it. So you can't say that I was taking any money from Adobe or, I mean, whoever it might be. And then in the second case, I'm not stealing, I'm not removing the opportunity for somebody else to purchase it because it's a digital product. It could be infinitely copied. So clearly it's not theft. So clearly that's the strength of the torrent.
I don't think you read the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. I'm pretty sure it has something to say about that, good sir.
Yeah, okay. Like, as though that corporate-sponsored legislation has anything to say about actual judicial issues or morality. Come on, man. We all know that both parties are bought and paid for. It's all just a kabuki, man.
Donald Trump's going to fix it all.
He's going to fire Obama. Strength of the torrent. It is just like that card I keep talking about, except it targets two guys.
Yep. I like this card well enough, right? So sometimes you want to put -4 force on one thing. Sometimes you want to split it up, and the fact that it can bow, so like in concert, like the way it works with other force reduction effects, I think is actually really great. If you have Fire Kami's Greed over here and something over there, and they'll bow these two things as a final That feels like it would be really solid.
Yeah, this one breaks through the noise a little bit, and I'm like a broken
because
record
the ability to impact two cards, right? Like whenever you have that potential, you have
two things. And like little guys is the format right now, right? So you can target two guys, and if they're small, you end up bowing them. And Mantis plays like 2-force Dirtle guys with
follow it, man. Hit the skeletal troops, hit the whatever else. Hit the skeletal troops, hit the colonial conscripts, get them both bowed.
Two abilities off the table. So that's real, and I like this card quite a bit. I'll play it in any deck that can play it.
Yep.
Maybe not as a 3, but as a 2
It fits, by the way, in low-to-the-ground decks, too. It's not like I have to be playing, like, Big Shugenja.
No, yeah, of course. Like, there's nothing to say about you.
Just a way to sort of break the parity. So. Strike of the Obsidian Blade. Okay, this is a card you're gonna see a ton of copies of because it's a 4 focus value duel and people love them. Those things are great. People love to play them. They love to play Way of the Crane. They love to play Way of the Dragon, and that's basically what this is. It's like -2 force and dishonoring you when I win my duel.
It's so bad. No one is gonna play this card. Come on.
But wait, I will get an additional action which can't target you. But whatever, man.
No, it can target the loser. The idea is like I'm allowed to range attack you.
It's like I've given you -2 force, and now
like this is no one's gonna play this card. This card is an embarrassment.
You're so completely wrong, too, because people love these kinds of effects. Now I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying you're gonna see it like crazy because you're building your duel deck and you get to like 20 cards. You're like, oh, I need some more high focus value cards, and they're like, oh, this is a 4 focus value battle. It gives you -2 force in.
It's -2 force. Like just play Strike from the Earth.
Play Plan Departure is the card that I would probably throw out there, but
like play anything. Play Allied Efforts.
You have to look at the focus values, man. Those dual decks want to have 25 4 focus value cards. They're addicts.
So play Plan Departure.
Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the card that's going to be played in concert with Strike of the Obsidian Blade, and actually I think this is the best card of the set. Okay. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a high focus value battle action and everything to do just what it says, which is destroy an attachment. Now, you read it, you got to play the keyword game, but bowing an attachment is a fine battle action. I play Lost in Transit, right? So target my unbowed guy, bowing it. That's all good. But when you get to this next line of text, destroy it if your personality as a duelist and his chi is greater than or equal to the attachment's force. That's great. Like just blowing up any spell.
3 chi guy, blow up any weapon.
Imagine blowing up like a super paid for guidance in war, blowing up, you've got a 5 gold cost item of some remote, I blow it up. This is a card that forces people to get to cheap attachments now.
Yep.
The dream of big attachments pretty much dies on the vine with this thing because everybody can play it because everybody's got splash duelists. You don't have to play a Lion Dueling Tactician deck. You just need to have 6 Lion Duelists sort of jammed in there somewhere. We talked about when we were talking about Spider personalities, there's that one cheap, duelist guy. It's like, okay, whatever. I become, 1 chi if I need to, or 2 chi, whatever it was. But it's like, just attack with her as a 1/3 just to play this card, just to blow up their whatever really good attachment they have. I think this is probably battle action in the set. It's a card that makes me look for random splash duelists, and if I have duelists, I'm putting 3 of this in because people play attachments, and bowing them is fine, even if I don't have it, and oftentimes blowing them up is just great.
I got nothing to add. Total blowout city.
Oh, I hate how good it is against spells, too. I don't like people destroying my final ruin. It's great. Okay.
Swifter than sight. This is the Kensei one.
One day, Kensei. One day, being a Kensei and having 2 weapons is gonna matter. Like, it's gonna happen, man.
The day was there, man. Like back when you could swing around 2 like giant house-sized swords. Like that was their time. Like two forgotten relics. 2. What was the Wyvern's Tooth Katana? Wyvern Bone Katana. Yep. But the day has come. The day has gone. There's nothing wrong with that. They're like the last of the Legion, like a bunch of Roman Praetorians running around after the fall of the Empire, like trying to regain their glory. But everybody knows, man, the ship has sailed. We're done here.
So, blowing up. So it blows up here. I know it says bow to negate and then all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the weapon still blows up. So you blow up a weapon to negate destruction. They were going to destroy your unit. Just destroying a weapon is better. But if they have like those kinds of destruction effects, you've probably already lost the game. And if he has 2 weapons, he can negate movement, and bowing. Okay, like what effect are people playing that like first tries to destroy and then tries to?
This really is a card out of place. It's like a card without a country.
So I guess the real value is to ignore all the Kensei nonsense and just play it as like a blow up your weapon to keep your guy alive.
Right,
and even then, it's like
keep. There's nothing that shoots. If I'm a Kensei, if I'm a 3/4 Kensei with 2 weapons, I'm 7/4. Like what?
It's not even like the place for this card isn't Kensei decks. The place for this card is these go wide little dude decks where I put like 1 weapon here and 1 weapon there and 1 weapon there, and they go to try to kill one of my dudes with 1 weapon, and I just blow up the weapon to negate the dude's destruction.
Fair enough. That's so Kensei is just a total red herring. I'm with you completely.
It's completely like don't look at it.
This is not a Kensei card.
Just read about Kensei and ask someone who was playing back in the day how they used to be really good.
Terrorizing ambush. Terror! This is higher ground for melee attacks. We don't play higher ground. Why would we play terrorizing ambush? This one is an engage, which is worth pointing out. So it's slightly better. The thing is that I don't know like what. I don't know that melee attack versus range attack is consistently applied enough anywhere that you could ever assemble a deck that takes
you have to make the effort just for the terrain, right? And I thought
it's not a bad terrain, and I'm thinking about specifically like the lion guy that when you attack makes a melee 3 goes to 4. That's not bad.
Sure, but why not just play something like Strike from the Earth? Plus, you've already got all these strikes and the other cards. So, like,
the other card only interacts with range attacks.
Fair enough, okay, but I just feel like there's enough other ways to get your melees triggering than to sort of go through the song and dance of ambush. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's enough. Like I'd have to like this will make me do like a search for melee attacks at some point. I'll just be like, oh, how many melee attacks are there?
I mean, it's specifically in Lion, and the idea is that you can engage your scouting amidst the snow, and then engage your 1 terrorizing ambush at a critical moment, and have 3 or 4 like melee 4 attacks, and maybe that produces some value.
Fair enough. I mean, it feels a little Christmas timeland, but there is. What's the set from the base? That there's like a Raven card that like allows to make a melee 3 that you can straighten it, so it's like repeat or something. Like they can get that out with this and like take like a railgun effect and just be like, I make 1,000,000 melee 4s, everything dies.
Yeah, you're thinking of the it's like Yabajin Spearman or something. It's a ranged attack though.
No, pretty sure it was a melee one, but I could be wrong. But so like that's a thing that I don't.
So yeah, there's all of that. Let's talk about the flavor text though. The Imperials should have known not to rely on peasant levies. Take that to heart, everybody. Don't rely on peasant levies.
But Ashigaru, let me down again.
By which I mean, don't play the Ashigaru deck. The Dark Swords Lunacy. This is...
Love the title. Love the huge win on the title for me on this one. Love it. I was just like,
big hit. This had better be a great card. Let's read. Whoa.
Okay, let's talk about the first line. So courage, who cares? It's like, here's the second courage. As a focus effect after this duel is all, put it into your hand if you lost. Sweet, I love to do. Give me my awesome thing, a reason to focus, and then I get bother your guy to move from a guy with less attachments or force and state and it's like
it's by text of the card force negative. It's illegal to play this card for a force.
No, if they have less attachments, right? So if they just have less attachments.
So it's like a Shugenja card?
Or like a little follower card.
Oh, sure, because the followers keep contributing.
I'll play it in my Ashigaru deck because I'll put out little Ashigarus and then so, buy my worthless guy. Yes, but hey, look, there's the thing about it. If your guy has 2 weapons, they can say, go can say, well, who can say? It's not a bad card. Right? It's a send home. It's conditional, but you can set it up so that you'll be able to send home any unit. Like if I have, if you were talking about Shugenja, right? If I have a guy who's got the Servitor of Stone and like 3 other spells, he's bound to send home anybody.
Sure, yeah.
Independent of force, independent of chi, independent of other attack. Like there are places where you'll play it, but you can also just play a bunch of 3PH Samurai and play Sacrifice, and almost nobody does that.
Yeah. Like, unconditional send home is not the rarest thing to come across, You
do see the one challenge, the I forget what one that's disciplined. The card you see a lot of, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is discipline. That discipline being a different ballgame.
So there you go.
Indignity of unrest. So this gets a little. Are you ready? Are we ready?
We're ready. Let's put our waders on.
Target your unbound person. This is this line of attacks has become very common. There's a lot of make sure you have unbound things, so that I guess increases the strength of bind. Give a target enemy a force penalty equal to your personality's chi. We've seen this exact line of text somewhere else. And that's, I can't remember.
Wait, no, there's an or.
Or
the number of magistrates, whichever is higher.
And, yeah.
Again, I feel like a broken record saying just play unassailable offense. And I guess at some point.
So, that stuff is ridiculous.
Hold on a sec. I'm losing you a little bit. You repeat that last comment?
Okay, here's my thought on this. The number of magistrates, whatever, like, your average chi is 3, but you've got plenty of 4 chi guys in the world, so it's easy to have 4. So, like, I need to have 5 magistrates before this is better. Like, that's just too, you're asking too much. But the effect itself isn't that good. There's a card from A Line in the Sand that has, like, target a guy, give a force penalty equal to your dude's chi, and it's something about your Jimbo or Ginger or whatever. Do you know what card I'm talking about? It was a common. I played the
Yeah. It's one with a movement that, like, moves in and does that?
No, it was something like give abilities home to your Shugenja.
Right. I know exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I played a bunch of it. It's target a guy, and nobody played it. Like, nobody played it. So, like, this is only better than that if I have, like, 5 magistrates. It's just like, come on, man. That's not. Who cares?
Right. So, in theory, like, if you really want another.
Maybe more people should have played that. Maybe more people should play Step into the Fray other than me, but still.
I don't know, man.
It's just higher focus.
Yeah, so Looming Darkness, this is the bad evil portents. Bad, of course, because of the minimum of 1 chi line.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Let's just call it like a bad, slightly better, flashy thing.
So, yeah, it's like a flashy technique with upside.
Yeah.
And, I think Horde will play it. I don't see any reason not to. It only hits guys, so you want to be on a wide strategy.
No, I think it's legitimately really great, right? Like, first turn gold, second turn through Shadowlands guys, like 2-point targets, play this, take a province, a bunch of force, 10-4.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it sort of does everything. Like, saves your provinces, takes their provinces.
Yeah, it's a great card. The way that swing works, I have 2 guys, you have 2 guys, it's a 4. I have 5 guys, you have 5 guys, it's a swing. It's great.
No, hold on. It's an or. It has 2 modes. It doesn't give +1 to me and -1 to you.
Oh, it's even worse than I just, I live in this world where cards just do what I want them to do.
Yeah, it's a good world to live in, but this card isn't from it.
Okay,
I still think it's okay. I still think it'll see some
you'll
play.
Play it for the bonus more than you'll play it for the minus, then, I think, because you can build your deck to sort of leverage the bonus.
Yeah, of course. But I think that there'll be times when you want the minus, like against the deck that goes even wider than you. It's just like, it's always just a math question. Like, you stop and you say, like, okay, how many, count your guys, count their guys, pick a mode. The fact that it's an open, not a battle open, is a little bit rough. Like, you have to commit to this card before you know what's happening.
They were worried about it being a little too good at the battle.
I mean, you can see that everywhere. Like, there's a single copy limit. There's, there's minimum.
The Chi minimum, obviously, is like a
lose to underline. Like, there's a lot on this card that they take away, but they really wanted to throw back to Portents. And here's what we got.
So the price of shame, it's shameful and cowardly, cut in half. Minus 3/4 is a fine. It's nice to have when you build a deck, when you're new to L5R, and you're teaching people about L5R, you're trying to sort of explain actions and what to play and where to play. This is a great card because I can just play it. Minus 3/4 is a real ability, and it can dishonor them, which is great against honor. Like, you can even play it competitive. We think honor is sort of pushing forward, and when like you defend, you do something like dishonor your guy. Now, if I kill him later, it can set you back a turn, or at least one proclaim action, which is really helpful.
Yep.
I think this is a really solid common. I think that it's a perfectly fine card. It's not an exciting card. It's not a card that's going to win you a million games. It's not going to, oh man, this card's powerful. But it's actually much better than I think people give it credit for, because everyone appreciates the ability to just have cards that I attack and things start to go wrong. And they put up guys, but I can put up this guy, do their force, and so get a tie. And all good. I can defend this. A lot of value in a card.
Yeah, I agree. I played the -5, the one from Emperor, whose name I forgot. That was -5 force with the same effect, and I loved it.
Yep. So, and now 3/4 is forces being reduced.
Right, but guys aren't as big. Like you say, well, that one was -5, this one's -3, but guys aren't as big, so it's still gonna hit. It's gonna hit to 0, like you said. It'll cancel people's honor gains if the battle's going wrong, and you just sort of prevent them from honoring out. You can get some incidental hits here and there, like a guy they chump defend against honor. Against honor, it's awesome. They defend, they play like one action, then you dishonor their guy, and they can't gain honor from their stuff anymore. It's very versatile, very powerful. I think it'll make the constructed cut in a lot of situations. And it's much better than these other, like the Magistrate one we just saw, or the Ninja one. Like, this is one that's like straight -3/4, which is a reasonable hit with this extra, like, perfectly relevant thing tacked on.
Yep.
So a turquoise adjunct. This is the crane version. This is probably the best one. So it turns any one of your guys into a merchant caravan. And
lot of potential there.
There's a lot of potential there.
Like, proclaim on turn 1, to give guy merchant caravan ability. I don't know, do something with my box. Proclaim again. Just sort of like make sure I'm turn.
Right. So you're going like guy on 1, proclaim, adjunct up, and then you're going to go adjunct guy to buy gold, box to proclaim another guy, and then on your turn 3, you're going to start using your box after having already proclaimed for 6. So
yeah, I mean, you burn through fake, but that's enough.
You had another cut off there. Give it a couple seconds and then redo it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're you can
nah, it's too garbled. Try switching my VPN here. Try again.
Okay.
Nope. It's really every bit as bad as you think. I'm not just trolling you. It's like
I believe you. What, just go to no video here, you think?
No. It's a little bit okay now. Try again.
So, there is a cost of discard. I can hear people say, oh, you got to discard cards, and your hand's not limited. But if you build your deck right and you're fast enough, you won't care. You'll have disciplined cards. You'll have Path of Wisdom. and you'll just be accelerated past the normal pace of play. This card has a lot of potential.
Very dangerous card. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out yet.
And a 4 focus in and of itself. Like
yeah,
when you draw
so you
the
can
second one,
drop the
like
extra more copies to it. Path of Wisdom specifically is the one that's like, geez.
So it turns a guy into what's his face, Soakin or whatever. We had some of those, but
yeah,
the
but
fact
Soakin
that you
was
can
7
turn,
gold.
well, 6 gold, right? Those guys. The fact that you can turn anybody, like you turn any boxable into that unique Mantis guy, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. I was thinking of the Crane guy from Imperial.
Oh, okay, sure, the Shugenja, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Unexpected Valor. This is there's a straight effect with a Discipline 0. The first time we've seen that.
Which I love. Yeah, I think this is a really great guy. This is so if you find yourself building your decks and you always put some straight effects in there, not so much so that you can use them proactively, but because you anticipate your opponent will value in some capacity. Here
ding,
you go.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
It's great there. I mean, it straightens any card. The card doesn't have to be opposed at the time of straightening, so you can do your other stuff and then straighten. And it's got Discipline. This card is great. I think this card should have been a rare, man. I think this card is just super, super duper.
Yeah, I guess they felt that restriction about it being the other player's card was onerous enough that it didn't merit being a rare. But you look at a card like our Battlefield Challenge, that's a rare duel. They're going to duel you, commit some resources, focus off. And you could even focus down your Unexpected Valor, then just straight in for free. Haha, take that.
Yep. So, okay, on to one of those sort of
unforgivable in every way. Not Deruko's best hair day here.
Yeah, this one I had to sort of read and think about it. At first I wasn't a fan, but now I've sort of talked myself into loving it. It's a Mushin, and like that's cool. I like a 4 focus value Mushin, except that it's like strategies discarded by any of these additional actions that is tactical permanently gain discipline. Well, that's actually really awesome. And then you get to the last line where it's like, I can't just Mushin to hurt you. So,
right, so it's a Mushin to only tack.
Tack.
But to tack with no cost.
You can theoretically go like Mushin straight into things or something like that.
Sure.
Mushin
You're not getting the full advantage out of the card if you do.
Right. But I think Mushin, tack, those cards are now on in my yard with discipline and I can still play them. I think can be pretty awesome. I actually sort of really, it's a little magical plan. But I mean, in a battle where I have enough tacticians to sort of do this, I kind of love it.
Yeah, and they permanently gain Tactician, right? So you're not under the gun to use them right now in this battle. Now, the bin is not a safe place to be these days with all of the victory through deference running around, but
yes,
they are there, and you can always access them. The other thing is that they're Discipline 1, which means you can just bow a 2 gold holding, float 1.
Yeah, they're very, very
and play them together very easily. So I think this card has a lot going for it. It's something that makes me want to attack cards, which has not happened in a long time.
I had to imagine a plan. I'm getting rich. I'm so just close my eyes and think of radical.
Hold on. It's fun, isn't it?
It's something.
All right, go again.
I don't think Tactician Dueling is really going to be like this great deck. But this is the kind of card that imagine like playing this, packing 2 4-focus duels, and then playing them from your yard. And they have all sorts of force. That could be just really great.
It could, yeah. So if that's a deck, this is probably going to be a piece of it.
It's just, at the end of the day, what the card do? It gave you 8 forcers. And that's about.
For sure. Unseemly Brawl. Target your personality with lower force. Give you force difference. This is like, I'm winning. Let's win some more. Except not really. You have a big guy. I will punish you. It's the Crane guy in a card.
Right. It's like 4 and you're 2 on the 6. I hate the maximum of a 5, of course.
No. It's equal to the difference. You're a 4. I'm a 2. I go to 4.
Give your force bonus equal to the difference. No, I gain a bonus. So I'm 4, you're 2. I gain a bonus of the difference, which is 2. So I go to 6.
No, the difference. Oh, I see. My guy gets +2. Yeah.
The bigger guy gets bonus.
Okay, the bigger guy gets the bonus. To a maximum of +5 is sort of like eh. But if you're playing attachments like I've got a guy with a demolisher, I target your guy, I get +5 force. Like it's not nothing.
Right. No, absolutely. I can absolutely. Adding this card is sort of like type deck, where you pick conscripts and you drop their 3/4 guy and throw and target your 3/4 guy over here and before. That's a fine card. I feel like that's sort of where it is. I don't think you'll get these big hits of 5 out of it. I mean, there's a chance you'll overwhelm offense and then gain, but you know, I don't think it's good enough. It's a little bit too hard to get it all set.
No, it's not. It's not good enough because it's just a force bonus. Like in its highest conception, it's +3 force, and if you showed me like a bonsai charge. But I mean, like we're concocting all these situations where like I'm gonna do this, and then like that'll get me 3 or 4, maybe 5. And then like it's doing a lot of work to build your own bonsai, and it doesn't even have discipline, so screw it. Unwanted tutelage. Oh, okay, so it does interact with melee attacks. I misspoke earlier. Please don't make fun of me. I already feel bad enough about the number of silly things I've said in this video. I like this one. This is just.
I mean, if you don't care about losing to honor, it's awesome, and even if you do care, get over it because this card is great.
Yeah, it's just another unholy strike. I do like that everything about bumping up melee attacks is all like bad. You've got like ghosts and unholiness. Like purity and goodness does not allow you to make good ranged attacks.
Apparently not. So I like that art, by the way. There's something really cool about this sort of like spectral demon, how the dude makes that shot. So we should talk about the strength effect too, though. Like that's turned on, man. Like,
it is. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So
it doesn't have the like just make an attack. It doesn't have that Saruchi attack part of it, but it does straighten a guy. So like bow, shoot, straighten.
Yep.
But like that's obviously the most evident way to use it. But you can also just you bowed my guy with a range attack, I straighten him and then shoot. Sort of in the same way.
It's a card, but it works guide and followers, which is very nice. Right?
So it's a nice flexible card. This is clearly like a chase common. You want as many as you want to give to all your bum friends that don't buy enough product.
Chase common. I like it. Chase common. Okay, on to the virtuous victory. We were just talking about sort of, bonsai, and here's like another version of that. So like strengthen subtlety with another game tacked on, whatever.
Yeah, it reminds me of the +2 honor. You get to play game +2 honor, gain force equal to your PH card.
Your intent, which I play, like that's a card you play. If this is game 2 honor, deck that 1 honor, it's not.
Yeah, this is just gain 1, and the force. It's only 1 extra force swing, right? Purity of intent is +3 always. This is just +4, like +2 -2.
They both get it. This is a little bit better. Your guy, yes, but sure.
It's worthwhile to note that the Crane have robots. I didn't realize that was something, but they do, and there they are.
Robot?
Yeah, that guy looks like the waist is too like cinched, and like the way the armor looks, it's very like mecha Shogun.
Very silver samurai feel to it. Okay, here are another one. And they
Hold on.
Left here. We can do it, man. We can do it.
We can push through. Okay, we're gonna try to make it through. Walking with the water. I like walking with the way. How does the water hack? How does the water pan out?
We're trying to complete the cycle, right? We've had Earth and Fire. We've got. Oh, I want to get the Void. When do I get my Void? Okay, so if you would be opposed to your guy at any location in this battlefield, make straight knowing of water. So you play it as an acid, and you get a move effect like the Ring of Water. Can't move home. You can. Okay, I mean it's a fine card. It's a fine movement effect because it straightens your Ring of Water. Again, if you started that, it doesn't straighten your how many moves.
My beef with it is that Honed to the Ranger's Edge exists. Any deck that reaches for this card reaches for Honed first.
Well, I mean, if you're playing Shoot Engine, for sure you're playing Honed. This is for other factions. Everybody's got some kind of movement, though, so it's like. Is it better than Back to the Front? I don't really think
I
so.
don't. I certainly don't think so.
Yeah, it's a terrain, gives you a little bit of flexibility. It's one of those things that does something and then you don't.
Yeah, fair enough. And I always like pointing out that you can tutor it up.
Yeah.
So like tutorable movement ain't. I mean, yeah, okay. You might be right that there's something. I think about straight in the Ring of Waters. Obviously, you're playing it in Dragon. That's why I talk about Honed right away. But I think you're right to ignore that part of it.
Yeah, it's just sort of. Okay.
Okay. Last card. It's a siege card with a great name, the Walls of Death.
Which I really like the disparity between the coolness of the name and the card itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the interrupt. If you have a fortification at the current battlefield, you get lookout post.
Got it. Siege bet. Bow your target unbound fortification range tag equals gold cost rounded up +1. This is finally a use for Distracted Sentry. It was a card in the last set. It's a 6 for 5 that can tireless straighten itself, but you cannot use it to produce gold until your next turn begins. Why would you want to do this, Jesse? Well, because now you can make 5 gold and then straighten it, and then on their turn when they attack you, you siege battle to make a range 4. So in its highest conception, this card allows you to make a range 4 attack by playing an unplayable 6 for 5 fortification holding that puts all your eggs, literally puts all your eggs into a basket, causing you to lose the game.
At some point in your fortification build, you might just have to have a fortification bout, and you have one of them that costs 3. It makes a range 3 attack. That's good.
Yeah, okay. But like, so you're doing all this work to get like an Unholy Strike.
That's a problem. If it was just target a fortification, it's enough of a particular.
I agree. If the card was better, it would be better. Okay. I don't think we have there's not a lot to say about this one, and it's been an hour and 20 minutes grinding through all these strategies, but we're crazy men. We did it. We're done.
Yes. Yes.
Let us know what you think. Please don't make fun of us. But do tell us if we didn't catch any of our own mistakes, because I'm always interested.
Please tell us how to play this damn
please tell
game.
us how these cards interact with each other, because Lord knows I have no idea.
Too much.
Which cards do you like? Do you like variable force reduction cards? Let us know in the comments. Until next time.
Are you as excited for Broken Honor decks as Paul is?
Until next time, it's been enough talk. I am Jesse, and that is Paul, and yep, hang loose, as the man says.